Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you for joining me again today. This is Dr. LaHue. We're doing a study on Enneagram Type 3, and we're going to be looking at the wings today. So 3 wing 2, the charmer, and 3 wing 4, the professional. We're going to try to unpack a little bit more about 3s. I'm always, growing in my understanding and, research and interactions with each type. And so we're going to get to the wings in just a minute and explain, a little bit better the difference between those two different kinds of 3s. First, just a little bit of summary about the 3. I was doing a little more study and reading and reflecting on 3s. And, 3s, of course, are in the shame group with 2s and 4s. And essentially, I would say that those 3 types are asking the question, or dealing with the problems that result from, the issue or the question of where does my value come from? Where does my worth come from? What makes me a reason for being here? What is my my value and my worth? And inherent in that is the belief that you don't have worth and value, is the belief that you're not lovable for who you are, for who you genuinely are, that you are not lovable. And of course, you have to understand in an objective way that that's not true. Every person has worth and value. You can walk into, any nursery or any preschool or any, hospital nursery, and you can look around at little infants or little toddlers who haven't accomplished anything worthwhile in this world, meaning they haven't earned any certificates or earned any education awards, or they're not working for a living, they don't have a company. All of the things that we tend to associate with success and make a person quote unquote valuable, these little babies or these little toddlers have achieved none of it. And yet, who would deny their worth and value? They have intrinsic worth and value. And in that objective way, I think all of us can understand that. But 2s, 3s, and 4s, because of their brokenness, they lose sight of their worth and value. And so they go on a quest or a bid to try to, create that sense of worth and value. And so 2s, tend to accomplish that by being very likable, by winning you over because of their kindness and their help and what they offer to you, and focusing the attention on you. You want to be around them, and so they find their sense of value in that they have become valuable to you. And 4s, they deal with this by being special and different and unique and standing apart. And the idea is kind of like, I'm not like the rest, so you would miss me if I was gone. You could pull any other cog out of the wheel, because that's what people are. They're just cogs in wheels because they're all so mundane. But me, I'm different, I'm unique, I stand out, and therefore have value because I'm unlike everyone else. If I wasn't here, then you would miss me. And the 3, has this sense that they don't have value and worth in themselves. So they go on the bid or the quest of creating what you might call a persona, or a mask, a false self, a more likable, more highly achieving, more accomplished self. And of course, their root sin is deceit, because over time they start to be unable to differentiate their true self from the persona that they have created. In other words, they become over-focused on goals and achievements and beauty and attractiveness, and polishing up the image, so that image, that false persona, that mask, that social person becomes how they identify themselves. All of us, I think, understand that, there's times when you have to sit up and dress right and look proper and be respectful. And so, we show up at the event and we're on our best behavior. And then as soon as the event is over, we take off the suit and we go back to our regular clothes, and we go back to being ourselves. The 3 is kind of always on job interview. They're always on that it's kind of like they're always on, in a sense of always having to be on, to be their best self all the time. And over time, they can kind of lose sight of their true self, or their who's the person underneath all of that charm and all of that charisma and all of that accomplishment. And they can lose touch with their feelings, because feelings and their inner sense of what's going on within them gets in the way of accomplishing all of those goals. So it's like they look in society and they see what people admire. Their marketing strategy for life. They're using marketing strategies for how they live their life. They go out and see what people admire. They see what people are attracted to. They see what the best, most admirable qualities are in any given group or situation, and then they adapt themselves to emulate those desirable qualities. And so they can become somewhat shape-shifting in order to be the best or to be the most admirable, and then equate that admiration as though it's love. And so they're running away from pain, the pain of feeling unlovable in yourself, or the pain of feeling rejected. And so they're running away from that pain, or running away from that shame. That shame is driving them. And so all of this, accomplishments that all of the achievements and the awards and the medals and the trophies and the surgeries, by that I mean plastic surgeries, and the gym memberships, and the designer labels, and all of that they're chasing and running after, and all the accomplishments and all the career changes and all of the advancements and promotions and that important sense of self, they're running toward those things. But in my opinion, it's because they're running away from that shame, that sense that I'm not worthy, I'm not valuable, I'm not lovable in and of myself. So I have to attach all of these things onto me so that people will then admire me and be attracted to me and love me, and then I will then believe maybe that I'm a person of value and worth. So like when it's really a sad thing when you think about it. I mean, it's all of the Enneagram shows us our brokenness, and it shows us, where we are fallen, and it can be a very painful thing for a 3 to hear this for the first time, because, maybe you've never thought about it like this before. You've always just known that you were a very determined person who was very goal-oriented, who was very focused. But, but try to get beneath the surface on that and let the Enneagram, shred through those outer layers. And why do you feel like you have to multitask? Why do you feel like you have to check things off the list and you have to accomplish so many goals? What's the motivating force behind that? What is it that you think will happen if you were to relax? If you were to say to work for others' promotion and to promote the team or to promote the others, or to relax, or just to relax and just to take it easy and just to be comfortable and be yourself. What would happen if you didn't go on this attack mode of accomplishing the next great goal? And sometimes those goals, they can kind of get backed up and lined up in front of you as a way to keep your attention off of other things. So what is it that you don't want to give your attention to? Why don't you want to look internally? Why don't you want to look inside yourself? Why don't you want to sit for a minute and just do nothing? What would happen to you? Would you curl up into a ball and die? Would you disappear? And one thing you can say about threes is they're afraid of disappearing. They don't want to disappear. They want to make a name for themselves. They want to make, their life count. They want to make a big splash. They want to, fulfill something great and something important and be seen as something great and something important. Could you accomplish these goals? Could you accomplish these tasks if you didn't get let me say it this way, would you be as motivated to accomplish these goals and accomplish these tasks if no one knew, if no one could know what you were accomplishing, if it was just for your own personal benefit? Would you be as motivated to better yourself if there was no awards or achievements or promotions or financial incentives attached to it? Are you pursuing these goals because it's a passion that you enjoy, that you love? Do you really enjoy and love and have a desire to learn the things you're learning and do the things you're doing? Or are they simply a means to an end? And if they are a means to an end, or it possibly is a means to an end, ask yourself, what is that end? What is it that you're really trying to accomplish? What is it that you're really trying to attain? And the Enneagram, look, you may disagree with a lot of what I just said, but the Enneagram, if you'll give it some time, and threes have a hard time, with all of this, because they have a hard time with reflection. They have a hard time with pausing long enough to reflect and to look inward. Sevens do too. Okay, I know this because of my own difficulty with the Enneagram. Go find sevens that care about the Enneagram. It's going to be hard. I know they exist. I know they have Facebook groups and all that, but I'm just saying that some of the types, like fours and nines, they lean in and they want to know more about themselves and why they do what they do. But threes, you guys have a hard time looking inward. You want to keep moving, keep attaining, keep achieving. And in that way, threes, they're going to be special. And others will give up, and others will quit, and others won't stay motivated, and others won't work the long hours, and others won't come early and stay late and read the books and learn the manuals, and I get it. I understand your world, okay? I understand maybe more than you think. And in that way, threes differentiate themselves from the group, from the pack. Threes differentiate themselves from the herd. Okay, so I want you to see the similarity between twos, threes, and fours. You're all doing the same thing in your own way. Twos, you differentiate yourself from everybody else because you care more than other people care. Twos are more helpful, more caring, more friendly than everybody else. And so look, they're different and therefore have worth and value. Fours, you guys are unique. You're the only one that wears your hair the way you wear it. You're the only one that paints the way you paint. You're the only one that designs the way you design. You're the only one with that special tattoo, that represents your grandfather. Or you're the only one that... And so fours differentiate themselves because of their diet, because of their dress, because of their job or their creative talent. Fours differentiate themselves from all of the herd, from the vulgarians out there. The 4-3 is called the aristocrat. The 4-5, the bohemian. So fours differentiate themselves and say, everybody else is like this, we're like that. The twos doing the same thing. Everybody else is mean, and everybody else is so focused on getting things done that they don't have time to care about people. Look at us, we're different, okay? And look at you threes. Threes say, everybody else wants to go on vacation. They want to play all day. They want to hope to achieve and accomplish without working hard and being disciplined and setting goals and networking. But I'm going to differentiate myself as a leader, and that might be the key word, as a leader that's different than all of the followers out there, all of the people that just want to coast through life. I'm motivated and I'm hyper motivated, and I will do the hard work and I will discipline myself, and I will... What are you doing? You're saying everybody else, and then there's me, or then there's us, the threes, the achievers. We're the leaders. We're the winners. We are the ones that stay late, work harder, and give it more effort. You're differentiating yourself from the herd. And what I'm saying is, Why do 2s, 3s, and 4s do this? Because they're struggling with that sense of, where does my value and worth come from? My worth and value come from my friendliness and my ability to help you in a crisis. My worth and value come from my uniqueness and my separateness and my differentness. And then the 3 is, my value comes from my ability to accomplish, achieve, and win people's admiration and to be the best. Okay, I just want you to see yourself in the mirror for what you are. That's the beginning of healing in all of this, is to see the wounds, to see the brokenness. And we're healed by that brokenness. We're healed by those wounds. Okay, so enough about 3s in general. Let's talk about the wings. Okay, so the 3-wing 2 is called the charmer, and the 3-wing 4 is called the professional. And I'm going to say this through all these wing videos and all the different types. So you may just be watching this one because you're a 3, but if you're watching all of them, you'll hear me repeat this over and over. And that is, whatever wing is your dominant wing, and there will be one that's more dominant than the others. It might be slightly more dominant. It could be far more dominant. So maybe you're a real 3-wing 2 and you see no 4-ness in yourself at all. Or you're a 3-wing 4 and you see no 2-ness in yourself at all. Whatever your dominant wing is, the path to healing and health is often generated when you learn to exercise and strengthen and depend on your less dominant wing. So if you're a 3-wing 2, you need to learn everything you can about the 4-wing. You need to learn as much as you can about 4s and work toward incorporating more of that into yourself as a 3, and you will immediately see signs of moving toward health. Okay, so if you're a 3-wing 4 and you don't have much of a 2-wing, learn as much as you can about 2s and what's going on and why they do what they do and what the positives of the 2 is, to incorporate that into your 3-ness to balance out that other wing. So what happens is we get tipped one side or the other, leaning too far toward the 4, leaning too far toward the 2. If you can balance that a little bit and move toward your less dominant wing, you will immediately begin to move toward a more healthy 3, a more healthier 3. Okay, so let's talk about the 3-wing 2. The 3-wing 2 is, of course, that what I just said, the achiever, going to dominate, going to win, going to accomplish, going to shape shift to be the best, but then blend that with those aspects of 2 that are, I care about people. I care about being somebody's friend. I care about making connections with people. I want to help. I want my achievements to inspire and motivate others and to help them. I want to be, the 3-wing 2 looks like this. I want to be the best I can be at everything I do in order to inspire, motivate, influence, and help others accomplish and change their lives, transform their lives. So the 3-wing 2 is going to move toward caregiving. They're going to be an accomplisher. They're going to be a person of admiration who wins your. They're going to be a performer. Okay, they're going to be that performer, but they're going to do it with a sense of inspiring and motivating others as well. So think like Tony Robbins. Okay, the typical motivational speaker. Let me tell you what I've accomplished. Let me tell you what I've come out of. Let me tell you how I've overcome, as a way of inspiring and motivating you so that you can believe in yourself, that you can accomplish great things as well. So they focus on gaining and winning others' admiration because they are being so helpful and being so, because of their helpfulness and because of their achievements, they then want to turn that in a way to win others' admiration and attention, so that they can inspire others to motivate them to become more than maybe they thought they could be. So they tend to be more extroverted than the 3-wing 4. If you know you're a 3 and you know you're extroverted, there's a good chance you're a 3-wing 2. Okay, you tend to be more extroverted and tend to be more comfortable in that role of the superstar, the shining star. Put the spotlights on me, get the attention on me. I'm comfortable up here on this stage. I'm ready to share with you and challenge you and talk to you and help you believe in you and become a better you. And so if you know you're a 3 and you know that you have that potential at least to be comfortable talking and speaking and being in groups and interacting with people, you're probably a 3-wing 2. 3-wing 2s often love excitement. They're very enthusiastic. They can look like 7s at times. 7s, like think Jim Carrey's and Jimmy Fallon's, and they can look like that. They can be quite humorous, fun-loving, easygoing, wanting to influence and motivate people, and they tend to mask their competitive side more than the 3-wing 4. Not that they're not competitive, they are competitive. 3-wing 2s are competitive, but they tend to mask that a little bit more than a 3-wing 4 does. 3-wing 4 is a professional. So they want you to know they're competitive. They want you to know that they're determined. They want you to know that they're going to work hard. 3-wing 4 is more personal, probably more relationship oriented. And here's a stinging word, maybe can be a little artificial. When you get to know them, they might have that little bit of artificial sweetener quality to them, because again, it's an artificial self, it's a persona, it's an image, it's an external self. 3s are kind of in denial of their internal self, or could be in denial of their internal self. 7s can be too, so stop hating on me, because we do the same thing, okay? 7s want to move away from the internal stuff, because that's where the pain, the boredom, the sadness, and all that, we move away from that and stay focused on everything glittery and shiny and just want to have fun and just want to, be distracted. 3s aren't into having fun and being distracted. They're into accomplishing and achieving goals, but it's that same moving away from the inner life toward the external life. And when you don't have a strong inner life and it's all external life, then it's going to come across to people as artificial. 7s can come across pretty artificial too, pretty shallow. Okay, you might say it that way. One of the marks of a 3-wing 2 is they can be intimate with a crowd. In other words, they're talking to a crowd and they're sharing their deep thoughts and their heart, and there's tears, and they're so personable. But then when you get them one-on-one, they tend to be more standoffish, more closed, and not vulnerable one-on-one, where they look so vulnerable up on the stage or with a group. Okay, so let's see, what else do we want to say about 3-wing 2s? I'm looking, by the way, at this book, The Wisdom of the Enneagram, to give me some helpful, good information on this subject. 3-wing 2s are outgoing, vivacious, quality that can resemble 7s. They're friendly, helpful, generous like 2s, while maintaining poise and self-esteem, because they're 3s. They're gonna continue to look good. They can be helpful and fun-loving. A 7 will let themselves look foolish. The 3 is gonna have a hard time letting themselves look foolish. They may be lighthearted and easygoing, but they're not going to put the hospital glove over their head and blow it up with their nose. They're probably not going to do that, because that's going to make them look stupid, and 3s don't want to look stupid. Okay, 7s are willing to look stupid. Personal achievement. Okay, they want to be loved. There it is, right there. They want to be loved. That's what 3s are. That's what in your heart you really want, is to be loved and to know that you're a person worthy of love. Let me tell you, if you haven't heard it in a long time, you are. You are a person worthy of love. You don't have to do anything to be valuable. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to accomplish one more thing. You don't have to accomplish anything else to be a person of immense value and worth. And maybe you didn't hear that growing up. Or maybe that wasn't the message that was communicated to you. Maybe you heard the message that you were valuable because of what you could do. You were valuable because of what you could accomplish. You were valuable because of some other aspect than that. It was like just being alive isn't enough. You have to validate why you're valuable, and that's not true. That's not a true message. Like I said before, go to any nursery, look around at all those little babies. What do they need to do to be valuable? Nothing. They don't need to do anything. They're not worthless because they haven't accomplished anything yet. They have intrinsic value, whether they accomplish anything or not. And that's true. So then adopt that and see yourself in that same way. You have immense value and worth regardless of whether you ever accomplish another thing or not. And here's the awesome thing is if you can come to realize that about yourself, what happens to all the pressure that's on you? A lot of that pressure can just go away because now you can use the best of threeness, that sense of determination, that desire to achieve great goals. But instead of chasing value, you can now accomplish those goals from a sense of value, from a sense of worth, from a sense of destiny and purpose. Not in order to prove that you're valuable, not in order to validate your worth and value, but because you understand your worth and value, you're already on the team. You don't have to try to make the team. Every time you go up to bat, you don't have to try and make the team. You're wearing the jersey of life. You've got the ball bat in your hand, and you're on the team. Sometimes you might strike out. It doesn't mean you're off the team. So yeah, you want to hit the ball for the fences, but not because you have to prove that you deserve to be on the team. You're on the team already. And because you are filled with gratitude that you're on the team, you want to do your best, and you should. And when threes are doing their best, great things happen. But it's not because you're trying to get on the team. It's because you're grateful that you know, I don't really deserve to be on the team, but I'm on it. And so I want to do the best I can do. But now you'll do your best in this more healthy, relaxed, centered state of purpose, rather than trying to chase something, that seems like it's hard for you to get a hold of. Out of a sense of worth and value, you can accomplish far more and in a much better way. Okay. Because if people could meet the real you, I think people want to meet the real you. If people could meet the real you, but you got to meet the real you first. When you look in that mirror, apart from all these diplomas and all these titles and all this external stuff, what do you see in that mirror? And I think people want to meet that person and see you as you are and love you for who you are. But I think it's hard for you to trust that. It's hard for you maybe to trust that people will love you for who you are. So you start, working on adopting all these masks that cover up the real you. And that's where the deceit comes in. You start believing that all those masks that you see is you. But if you could peel back that mask and peel back this one and who you are at work and what your title is and what you accomplished and your attractiveness and if you could peel back all that stuff, is there anything in the center? What's the core? The core you. That's what you got to get to know. That's what being three is all about, is trying to understand that core person. Okay. And I think that's really, where the three has to learn to lean on that four wing. So the three wing too, because the four is all about understanding themselves and how they're different and how they're unique, okay? And what makes them special, and listening to their authentic self and being authentic to themselves. So the three, when they lean on the two, what are they doing? They're saying, what do people need from me? How can I help them? How can I lift others up? That's good. And some of you 3/4s need to really work on that two wing, because you get so stuck in yourself and so stuck on accomplishing for yourself that you're not thinking about how to help others, how to inspire others, how to motivate others, how to be there for others. That's the 3 wing 2, okay? The 3 wing 4, the professional, the 4 can really help you guys, you 3 wing 2s. The 4, leaning on that 4 and learning more about that 4 can really help you get centered and say, who am I and what do I care about? Not what will get me the award and what will get me the promotion and what does my dad value and what do the people around me value, but what do I care about? What's authentically me? I know that I could go work for this company and I can make a lot of money and I could be a success, but do I care about the product that company's producing? You see, the 4 is going to get a job that lines up with what they value because they want to be true to their authentic self. And so a 3 who leans on that 4 a little bit says, life is more than just titles and diplomas and admiration and success. What success are you if you accomplish and gain the whole world and then forfeit your soul, your identity, your personhood? What does it gain a man if he gets the whole world, accomplishes everything, but then loses himself in the process? That verse is written to you, 3s, okay? So the 3-wing 4, the professional, let's talk about that a little bit. People of this subtype feel that their self-esteem comes from their work, their career, more than their personal qualities, more than their beauty, more than their attractiveness, more than their friendliness and their outgoingness. It's more from their... So this 3 could look a little bit maybe like a 1, because they're going to be disciplined and hardworking, and they're going to be focused on their careers, and they're going to be focused on accomplishing. They're very competitive, and they're going to look maybe a little bit more like a 1 than the 3-wing 2. They could look a little bit like a 2 or a 7. This one's going to look a little bit more like a 1 because they're more business. Let's get down to business. They're more introverted than the 3-wing 2, more disciplined, more focused, more quiet determination, resolve, you might say. They want their work to be outstanding. They want to turn in perfect work. They want their work to be well regarded. They identify themselves with the person that's at work. They get their energy and give their energy to their careers. They take pleasure in their profession, in their craft that they've chosen, and will make those personal sacrifices to maintain that professional integrity, that high quality of work. They can be diplomatic and charming. That's the 3-wing 2. They can be charming like that, but they tend to be more task oriented and serious than the 3-wing 2. So this type though has a challenge because they find themselves often in a struggle between, I want to be successful, i.e. I want to make a lot of money and have a great title and be important. At the same time, there's this competitive voice within them, that 4 voice, that's saying, be true to yourself. What do you care about? What's important to you? It's not all about the money. You need to be creative. And so this 3 sometimes finds themselves in a struggle because they've got this part of them that loves nature, but getting out in nature doesn't accomplish your work objectives. And so they find themselves often torn between their creative side or their real self, what they're passionate about, and accomplishing goals and tasks to be a winner. So there can be some self-doubt in these people, creating a tremendous pressure for them. Their drive for perfection is kind of like the 1. However, they aspire to embody that perfection. Let's see. But they also want to be in touch with their inner self as well. And so that can create some, I think is what it's saying. Okay, so they measure self-worth by their achievement, the 3-wing 4. Where I think the 3-wing 2 could do that, but they're more likely to measure it by their persona, by their winsomeness, their charmingness, their ability to attract people to themselves. The 3-wing 4 is going to measure it more by the bottom line, what they've accomplished in their achievements. They're going to be concerned about recognition and getting the recognition that they deserve or they feel they deserved. And in this way, they can trip over themselves. They can always make it about themselves to the point that people see through this. Sometimes you get very frustrated with them and maybe even move away from them because they can't get out of their own way sometimes. They can hide their inner struggle about their personal value. Their drive to succeed is complicated by their desire to be creative and to truly be themselves and to know themselves. And they tend to be more introverted than the 3-wing 2. So if you're a 3, what does it mean to be present? To be present today? Well, it means trying to get out from under all these masks, this persona, this winner, this, exceptional child, this admirable character. You are more than just a character. You're a person with a heart. And it's not going to be easy for you to get in touch with those feelings again, because you tend to shut those down because they're not helpful in accomplishing goals. You are a human doer sometimes, and you need to learn to be a human being, okay? That just being, just existing is enough. And the more centered you get and the more in touch you get with yourself, your own values, what you really care about and what you really believe in, the more solid you build that core and get in touch with that core and to know yourself, the more effective you're going to be. And if that's your goal, to be effective, to win, then I think you need to really show up. And to be present means to get out from underneath all of what you think it means to be successful, and to look at yourself in the mirror and say, what do I want in life? What do I care about? I'm going to get to the top of this ladder, but do I even really care about the wall I'm climbing up? Because you're going to get to the top of the ladder. You're going to make it the first and fastest, and you're going to get to the top of that ladder twice as fast as everybody else. And then what's going to happen? You're going to be standing on top of a wall. And you may never even stop to ask yourself, is this the wall I want to stand on top of? Will I care at the end of the day if I win this trophy, if I win this position, if I win this title, if I become CEO of this company? Will that satisfy me? Will I then be satisfied? If you're not centered in who you are, guess what? You're going to get to the top of that ladder, top of that wall, and you're just going to see another ladder. And then you're going to see another ladder, and then you're going to see another ladder, and it's never going to end, because you're not running towards something, you're running away from something. When you can stop running away for a minute and just sit there and let yourself feel what you need to feel, then begins the process of transformation. Thank you guys. Wish you the best. I'll see you next time.